CEOs, founders, today we're going to talk about the EOS system, right? The entrepreneurial system, famous from the book Traction. A lot of CEOs, founders are using it. Specifically, just quickly, I'm going to talk about the Vision Traction Organizer. Okay, so this is like that one-page document. And it's actually a short video because it's just sort of my viewpoint on EOS. EOS is awesome. I've used versions of it, and then I've used OKRs personally, and then we've used a couple of other X matrices and different things along the way, just trying to feel each strategic planning system out to find what's best for me. What I really like is I like OKRs, okay, because I truly believe that if you focus on the right 2 or 3 things and you accomplish those 2 or 3 things, the big things, right, and you align them with your vision, I think that's all you need to do, okay, in business. You don't have to overcomplicate it. And some of these systems overcomplicate it, but the benefit of these systems, they also get everybody else aligned at the company, right? And you're not going to do that with just 2 or 3 OKRs. So there's sort of a progression that you need to make as an entrepreneur, as a leader of your business. Before I get started, a little bit about me. My name is Luke Peters. Started a company with no cash, ran it for 20 years, bootstrapped it all the way through at the beginning, and was able to sell to private equity for a really, really fortunate mid-8-figure exit. And now a couple years later, I'm helping other entrepreneurs, helping other founders, CEOs improve their businesses, make more money, and have more freedom in their life. Okay, that's the big one. And having a good system like, running EOS can definitely give you more freedom. But let's talk about, the Vision Traction Organizer. Okay, so I don't want to put this one up here because it's got live data, but you have your core values, your core focus, your future target, your competitive advantage, and then your painted picture. These are all great things. I love how it's on one page. Here's my critique. Okay, so with EOS, you are, as the CEO, you're the visionary, right? And you need to hire that COO who's going to run things. They're going to run the system. Okay, they're the doer. The thing is, this creates sort of a communication problem, is how I see it, between you and your team. Because when you hire that COO or that integrator, it could be, maybe it's not a COO, but it could be a different title, but they're the integrator, right? They're the ones who are running your vision. You're the CEO. Now, every time you communicate, say you're talking to products, say you're talking to sales, it's going to be tough because you don't want to step over your integrator. This is a really, really difficult thing. I know there's ways to do this, but if as a typical founder CEO, you want to get active, you want to get at it and talk to people and talk about ideas. And trust me, I've made this mistake a million times, and it kind of can tick off the leadership, and it also can kind of make them look smaller, right? You're coming in and now, you're talking to somebody on the front line. They're like, wait a minute, should I be listening to Luke or should I be listening to the manager? And of course, whatever you say, they run out and do, and then it can cause problems. And if this happens enough, all of a sudden you're getting feedback that you're intervening too much, and now you back off. And then if that happens enough, a year later, you're not talking to anybody at the company. And this is an extreme example, right? And now it's hurting your culture, and wait a minute, you're the creative force. Like, if you're not doing that, your company's going to suffer. That integrator oftentimes doesn't have the juice that you have, right? They don't have the skin in the game. They don't have the creativity. So is it always a good thing? That this is an EOS thing. This is how you're supposed to set it up. And I know EOS is super successful. Many, many companies have benefited from using it. So it is a good system. I'm just saying this is a potential pitfall. You pull yourself out of the company too much, right? We all want to be surfing. We all want to be, skiing, golfing, whatever it may be. And if you get there, you're very fortunate. Okay, you're probably the top couple percent. But at what expense are you getting there? I mean, unless you hire the absolute best people, you're going to be in trouble. So I think I would say if you run EOS, you run it and make sure that hire, like everything hinges on making sure you get the right integrator, okay? And that you from day one have a great accountability plan with that integrator, because that integrator is going to be interfacing with all of your people. They're going to take over the show. And I know, you might be watching this saying, no, Luke, I can go do this with the people, right? You can do all of those things, but trust me, you're going to just step on yourself a lot, okay? You're going to be out at lunch and you're going to want to give them ideas, or then it's going to sound, what you say, what you think is okay to say is taken totally different by your team. Okay, just remember that, right? When you say, jump 6 inches, people think you told them to jump 10 feet in the air. It's like you really have to understand that concept with your team, because otherwise you could destroy your culture. And what you could do is you could create mistrust between you and your leadership team. It's sort of like, if you guys have used scaling up systems, right? Vision or EOS is similar in many ways. And the vision traction organizer, puts it all on one page. But that's the first issue. So the first issue is that integrator. The integrator has to be off the charts. You gotta hire someone who is you almost, except they're an integrator, and then you can continue. And the other thing is, maybe there's a way where you can kind of keep touch on a few important departments. It's like sales and product, right? Sales and product. Like CEO's got to stay tight with sales and product. Let the integrator run finance and ops. And of course, the integrator is supposed to run everything in this framework, but you got to find a way to stay really close to where your input can still end up with sales and product, but where you're not pissing off the integrator and making in lessening the impact of the integrator. Because if you get in there all the time, all of a sudden, your head of sales is like, well, I don't know, I like, Luke better than so-and-so, and it's going to create problems. So that's that. The other part is that, like any one of these plans, if you look at your plan, like how many things that you're doing are going to directly actually make you money. I look at these plans, and a lot of these things, first of all, the goals are specific, but there isn't like an OKR, you have your next action, right? You have your key result, right? You have your objective and you have your key result. And a lot of these, like the key results are really soft, okay? You got an objective, I got to do this or implement this software, and then the person, makes like 100 rules, and it's like, wait, like if I ever ran a business like that, we'd never get anything done. You got to go way quicker. So protect yourself from going too slow. The thing is, your team does have to build up their own plan. Otherwise, they're not going to have any buy-in, right? But the big flaw is like their plan is just so slow, okay? It's like, I don't know. I think some of you CEOs, some of you guys, you need to, hopefully can relate to this, right? It's like, wait a minute, we're going to be doing this for the next 3 years unless you change up this process. So that's the other issue. And why is that the case? Because it's not that there's a problem with their thinking. They're trying to be very complete. I always remember this Brady Bunch episode. Yes, the Brady Bunch. If you're under 40, you're probably going to drop off this video right now. Sorry about that. But it's one of the kids. I don't know. Peter became like a bike mechanic, and he gets a job at the bike mechanic shop, and he goes in there and he's so excited to perfectly fix the bike, and at the end of the day, he had like maybe one bike fixed or something like that. I mean, he wasn't making any money for the shop. It was like over perfected, right? Too much detail. So that's what I've seen. But that's fine. You want your accounting team to be detail oriented. So it's like this yin yang, right? It's like your culture, at least for me, it's like I love, some of Silicon Valley, it's like, move fast and break things. I love that. It's way more fun, right? And it's like your team kind of has to understand that. So I'll use the word MVP, minimum viable product. It's like get to the MVP super quick. And if you do that, your accounting can still be really good and really accurate, but they can understand, hey, certain things, we got to MVP it. Like if your month-end reporting's not done on time, it's like, listen, you got to get to an MVP. We can't have month-end reporting 4 months late. So there's certain ways that you can influence the culture to where, if you have like a NPD, new product development team or plan or something like that, or your sourcing team, you can't have them make any mistakes, but you can't have a plan. They can't follow like 40 rules, 40 steps. You'll never have any products launch. I could go on and on about this, but that is not a problem of EOS. That's just a problem of any planning system, is for you to guard against that. The difference with EOS is just pulling the founder out of it too much. Okay, that's the only thing I'd be weary of, and I'm sure EOS experts have an answer for that. But remember, not everybody implementing EOS is an EOS expert, right? They read the book, they get the software, they don't always hire somebody, so they can be making these mistakes and sort of jumping into this water thinking, okay, I got the plan and everybody's on board and they're getting everybody aligned and they're doing all that, but then 2 or 3 years later, they're not steering the ship in a sense, right? So that's something to be careful with. But I love it. I think let's put it this way, if you're running a business and you don't have some sort of strategic planning system like EOS, scaling up, X Matrix, and there's just a number of others that you could use. If you don't have one, OKRs, then you're in huge trouble. And I know most people have it. So then it's the next level is, do you have it? Now is your team actually getting buy-in? Are they creating the goals, the OKRs, the key results, the next actions, the KPI? Are they creating accountability? Okay, yes. Okay, that's great. Now you're step 2. Step 3, are they moving quick enough? Is there accountability in their plan? And is somebody meeting every week and every month and every quarter to get the rhythm going? All of these plans have this language, right? Rhythm, rocks, and sort of the different types of meetings that you're supposed to set up within them. And then most people do that. But here's where people fall off, is on accountability. Oh, we didn't hit it. Why didn't we hit it? It rained a lot and there's bad weather and demand was down. Okay, all right, we'll try to make it up. No, you can't. And then you have bad weather for like 3 months in a row. So that's the problem, is when it gets to accountability. It's like, wait, you got to pivot. And that's where the CEO needs to get involved. You can't just tell sales team, guys, all right, well, we missed it and now we got to make up next month. And the next month you missed it. Okay, now we got to make up the next month. No, you're going to have to show them how to make it up the next month. Okay, they're not you. You've been there. You know how to make it up. And that's the problem. It's too much like, make it up. How are they supposed to make it up? They're doing the same thing that month that they did the previous month. Okay, something's going to have to change. Some marketing change, some sales change. Maybe there's more travel in store. You got to get in front of your customers. Something has to happen, because if you don't, you're just going to have the same story, and they're just going to, sales are just going to wait on, hopefully marketing will run a good promotion next month. So at the very top, if you're running this, don't let yourself as the CEO founder get pulled out of the company. And if you're doing a good job and you feel like you're still tight within the company and you're still impactful, focus on the accountability bit. Okay, that's for you as a CEO. Focus on accountability. Okay, it's all about execution, vision, execution. Execution requires the accountability. Focus on that area. That's where you can be very impactful. And if you let that slip, the employees will know. They will know, and then as they miss their goals and other people miss their goals, and that becomes part of the company culture, you're going to have issues. So anyways, listen, I hope this was helpful. If you want to learn more, head over to Apex CEO. You can just learn more about my story, how I work with CEOs, how I focus on getting you more freedom, which means more time, work more in a more focused manner, but have more time in the weekend to do the things you want, because you get rid of all the clutter. Anyways, take care. Have a wonderful day.